Hi, welcome to Football and High Heels Presents. I'm Sammy, back again with even more news from Rio. And once again, Katrina is joining me. Welcome.
Thanks.
Oh my God, it's been crazy these past few days. I don't even know where to begin. It's just Simone's making history. We've had all this incredible stuff with men's gymnastics. It's just absolutely amazing. And now it's over, and I'm honestly don't know what I'm going to do with myself until football season officially starts.
I've got a couple more events with diving left to watch, but yeah. So it's been. I kind of don't know what I'm going to do at work because I've been watching when I'm scanning, I've been watching Olympics, and I'm like, what am I going to do?
Oh boy, yeah. So what do you think? Let's start with the men's high bar results. We have Fabian, we're just gonna call him Fabian H because I really don't want to butcher his last name from Germany as gold. Daniel Levin from USA winning silver, and Niall Wilson from Great Britain winning bronze. And Fabian's quite the athlete. Let's talk about him.
So Fabian Hombuchen is how you say his last name.
Thank you.
Otherwise known as Fabi. He's been around the gymnastics scene for quite some time. He first competed internationally in the early 2000s, and his first games was Athens. And there's actually, if you Google his name and Athens, it's adorable because he looks like he's 12. It's literally adorable. And he has these little tiny glasses. Oh, it's so adorable. It's so funny. He's been around a long time, as I said, and he has made every bar final in the Olympics. He has made almost all of the bar finals that he's competed internationally. And it's just kind of insane that he's never won a gold medal. So to win gold, it's just, yeah, he's one of those athletes where you're like, really? You haven't won a gold yet? It's a little shocking. And so to see him win gold and to see him just kind of get that final medal that he's always wanted, it's just really awesome. And so I wasn't shocked, but at the same time, I wasn't surprised either because he's so amazing. And Danelle, for Danelle to get silver after being not originally on the team because he was originally the alternate, and then John Orozco got injured, just to see him do well and come win the medal again because he has Olympic medals from London. It's just awesome, and out of him and just coming and just rocking both P-bars. He won parallel bars, silver on parallel bars as well. Just walking those sets, and I really enjoy his gymnastics, and he's a great guy. And if you go, he's huge on social media. So if you want to go follow him, he's a lot of awesome things to say. He's on Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter. He may be on Snapchat. I don't do a whole lot of Snapchat, so I don't know about Snapchat. But yeah,
I can't figure out Snapchat either. I was trying to figure it out last night, and I'm just like, I just sent a bunch of random pictures, and I have no idea. But yeah, he's everywhere.
I just follow for celebrities, so that's kind of the only thing. And then for Niles to win a bronze is just awesome, and he's another one that he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit, but he's been competing for a while for the British team. So for him to get a bronze medal is just awesome. So that high bar final was insane, and I feel really bad for Epke from the Netherlands because he actually got a concussion when he fell.
Wow.
Yeah, he said he felt fine, and he thought that he got up right away, but he went back and looked at the tape, and he actually didn't. And yeah. So he really shouldn't have competed, finished his routine, because they should have done concussion protocol on him. But, I feel really bad for him because he's just such a trickster. Excuse me. But yeah, it was a rough eyebrow final for FK.
Oh, yeah, and I get him wanting to get up and continue and finish it because that's what he came to do, but he needs to realize he also has to put his health first, and, going on and competing when you have a concussion is probably not a good idea because he could have done worse damage to him. So I'm just glad he's okay. I feel really bad for him as well because I thought he had potential to medal, but maybe in 2020 he'll do well. We'll see what happens. But I'm very proud of the guys for doing very well. And you're right, Fabi is absolutely adorable. When I was doing research before all this, we began the broadcast, just I was just looking at all his pictures and all his stuff that he's done, and he is just so adorable. And I would marry him if I could.
I don't recommend reading his book, though. That's all
That
I'm
bad?
It's not badly written. But there's some stuff in there that I will tell you later, just because it's not appropriate, and
Not appropriate for on air.
yeah, and it's just a little interesting that he did it. He's also done some reality shows. He did a reality diving show in Germany, which is really entertaining to watch. So he's done some reality stuff in Germany, and he's done a lot of modeling because he is a professional gymnast. So he's done some modeling in Germany. And from what I understand, he wants to buy the high bar to take back with him, which I think is adorable. And it sounds like he will be able to buy the high bar. So the high bar is going back to Germany with him, along with his medal.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. I would ask the same thing. If I win and won a gold medal doing something like that, I would want to take the bars home too, because why not? Just bring it and post it in my living room and be like, hey, this is what I won a gold medal on. So I don't blame him in the least.
Yeah. So there was also beam finals, and
Yes.
we have Sanne Weavers from the Netherlands winning gold, Lori Hernandez of the United States winning silver, and Simone winning the bronze. I had to think about that for a minute. And there was definitely some controversy with, and this is no reflection on Lori because it wasn't her. But if you watch the finals, they did file an inquiry into her score. And there's a lot of controversy around that because people were like, they didn't think she should do it, or they thought she should do it because she was trying to keep the gold. And that's not really an issue. It didn't even matter if she had won that inquiry. It wouldn't have changed her score. So I'm just thrilled out of my mind that Sanne won, because Sanne is fantastic, and I loved her and her sister Liki's routines for years because they're beautiful and they're different, and that's what the code is trying to promote, not to have the same routines. And it's just amazing. And she is also going to buy the beam and take it home with her.
Hey, people need new furniture for our house. Why not take what you medaled on? I would, like I said, I would do the exact same thing. I think it's a fun little conversation piece.
Well, I don't think it'd be going in her home, but I think it'd probably go to the gym.
Probably, but still.
This 16 foot piece of fiberglass into your house.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though that they want to buy it and they're actually letting them buy it. I never thought that was possible, but
I didn't
hey,
either.
Why not?
And there's actually, if you go look, there's a couple of pictures of Sanne after the medal ceremony meeting with her sister and the Dutch royal family who were in attendance. And for those of you who don't know, the Netherlands does have a royal family. They have a king and queen, and they do live in Amsterdam. And they were there in Rio with their two daughters. They have two, I think they're both young teenagers, early teenagers. And so they were there, and there's a great picture of Sanne showing them her medal. And it's really cute and really great to see. And so I'm thrilled that Sanne won.
Yeah, she was amazing. I watched her routine. Of course, I was at work, so I had to watch it afterwards, but I watched it, and she was incredible. There was no doubt in my mind that she won. I was rooting for Simone until the end, very end, but I absolutely thought that she deserved it more. And like I said, I love Simone. It's nothing against her, but I think in this case, Sanne definitely deserved it more. And speaking of Simone, her routine had a little bit of problems. It seemed like she almost fell and she had to put her hands down. Am I understanding this correctly? And then points got deducted. Is that how it happened?
Yep. Putting your hands on the beam is a 0.5 deduction. And so she was off just slightly with her hips were not in alignment with the beam. And so that's why her leg came off. If you look at the pictures, she's actually, and Amy, her coach, just said, she's like, I don't know how Simone saved that, but she did, because she should have come off. But she saved it, but she did get a deduction for touching the beam, because you can't touch the beam like that. It's hard to explain that you can touch the beam in terms of going down to the low beam to do low beam work and doing like back walkovers and back handsprings and stuff like that, but you can't touch it to support yourself, which I know sounds weird because you're supporting yourself when you do like handstands and stuff, but it's that fine line of you can't touch the beam, but you can, sort of thing. So that's why she got deductions.
Oh, so it's equivalent of doing a lift on Dancing with the Stars. It's not allowed except in certain situations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Gotcha. That's the only way it makes sense in my mind. But you know how my mind works. We've been friends forever, so.
So, yeah, there was. Yeah, I guess we can talk about if we want to discuss the Romanian drama at the end, because there's been lots of drama with there. But
ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Floor finals were the last for the women, and Simone placed first, Ali placed second, and then Amy Tinkler of Great Britain placed third. And it was kind of expected that Simone and Ali would go 1-2 because they have the highest potential scores. But it was quite a shock to have Amy Tinkler place third. She's known as a good tumbler, but there were a couple other people that were probably stronger than her, but she did a great clean routine. And so for her to place third was just awesome. And I'm really excited that she placed third.
Oh, yeah, me too. Like I said, I saw all of the routines afterwards, of course, and I thought hers was really well. Just I don't even know what it is about her because I've never really paid attention to her before either way, but something about her just stood out, and it seemed, I don't know if it was the routine itself, her drive, her determination, her personality, I don't know what it was, but she just completely stood out for me, and I thought she was absolutely amazing. I was thrilled that she made it into third place. And of course, Simone and Ali, we knew that was going to happen, but I have to say, I absolutely loved Simone's routine. And speaking of Simone and Ali, I love their friendship together. They are so cute together. Did you see that interview they did at the end of the gymnastics where they're just sitting talking about cupcakes and French fries and pizza that they're eating and taking naps? That was just so cute.
That was they were asked about what they add for cheat meals.
Yeah.
I tend to not watch interviews afterwards, like press stuff, just because, I don't know, I find it a little boring because usually it's the same answers. So I generally don't watch the press stuff that they give. So, I mean, I've seen like posts about it, but I didn't actually watch it, but yeah.
They're just so cute together, and I love their friendship, and I love how positive they are together, because a lot of times when you're competing against each other, you could see where things would be kind of like you want to beat them, and, some people could be really mean to each other, but they're not, and I'm very impressed with how nice they are to each other.
I think that comes from the way the system works in the United States, because these girls see each other on a monthly basis. They're more likely not to have, they want to compete against each other and win, but it's not the same as it used to be. It's not as, like, they don't ignore each other, especially on the national team. It used to be, if you go back and watch old meets, that the girls just really kind of ignore each other and they don't really interact. But once the system was instituted, you see a lot more camaraderie, and so I think that's why you don't see the super passive-aggressive, gonna ignore you type of teammates thing. And normally, Ali and Simone, well, I shouldn't say normally, many times they're roommates, but they aren't in Rio. And I'm not sure if there's a reason for that, but yes, a lot of times they will be roommates. And there's a couple, if you go watch their social media posts, there's a video from last year, I believe, and Simone's like dancing, and you can hear Ali yelling, "Go to bed," and it's just really funny, and yeah, they're adorable.
I love them. And speaking of adorableness, before we get to the men's vault, How about when they met Zac Efron? I completely went insane when I saw that because we all know Simone Biles is absolutely in love with Zac Efron, and seeing him, who wouldn't be in love with him? His body, and he's just so handsome. But hey, I'm not dead. I could say it. I would maybe a cougar, but hey, I could say it. I just think him walking into Rio and just seeing the look of pure joy on her face and on Lori's face was just, it was cute. It completely touched my heart. And she got her kiss from him, lucky girl. So it's like a dream come true all around. And he seemed genuinely supportive of her as well, which I loved.
Well, yeah, NBC flew him to Rio.
I heard that. That's incredible.
It's just insane. And it's really funny because, okay, so BuzzFeed has this article about how, I think it's BuzzFeed. I don't know who it was. Social media. They have this picture of, like, they're trying to pit. So Simone's really good friends with Arthur Nori, who's a Brazilian gymnast, and calls him her quote-unquote Brazilian boyfriend. They're not actually dating. Let me put that out there. She and Arthur are not dating. Yeah. And now they're trying to pit her, like, the fact that she has a crush on Zac Efron. They're trying to pit Zac against Arthur. And it's just like, no, guys, come on. It's not, no. So, it's,
oh my gosh.
yeah.
That's
like, yeah, Simone. I kind of wanted to see Amy's reaction to Simone's reaction because of their dynamic. But I don't think Amy was there. She might have been there. I don't know. But yeah, it was cute, and it was just kind of, I was kind of more wanting to see Madison's reaction because she's the more reserved of the five. But it was really cute to see all of them kind of like freak out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we would have freaked out if Tony Dovolani would have walked into a room we were in.
Yeah,
I'm sure we would have had the exact same reaction. But I'm surprised. Very happy they did it, but I'm very surprised they flew him into Rio instead of just waiting for him and doing a homecoming thing. But I guess they wanted to surprise her and keep her going, so to speak. I don't know, but it was sweet either way.
I think part of it was because they were all at one place. Once they get back to the States, they'll kind of split for the most part until the tour starts in September. So, yeah, I think that's why they did it in Rio, because they were all there. So it's just more convenient.
No, that was very sweet of them to do, though, and I loved her reaction. And what's her name, Hoda from Kathy Lee and Hoda was also there, and she looked so happy for them. She was just like a little mom, so cute and so happy, and it was like it was her own daughters meeting their favorite celebrity, and that was just so adorable as well. And I do want to talk about the tour, but real quick, I want to go back to Men's Vault. That was another one I was watching, and I was just, my eyes were like whole time were like huge and. Wow. So let's get into that.
You know, I watched Men's Vault, but because I was at work, I didn't really pay attention to results because men's gymnastics is not my, I watch it, but it's not something I really pay attention to. I know the guy from North Korea, Ri-Sang Kwang, won, I believe. I don't have the results in front of me. So, yeah, I mean, vault, just like men's vault scares me because the ankles, I'm just like, please don't die. Please don't die. And the Russian who competed a triple front, I'm surprised he didn't die because that vault is insane. And he's going to try to continue to get it named after him. Or now, see, a lot of us in the gym internet community are confused of whether he did get it named for him or not because of the way the rules are. So I have to double check with Warren Hopkins of the gym internet to see if he actually did get it named for him or not. Because there's different rules of how you get an element named. But yeah, I was just, most of the men's vaults, it just terrified me because ankles. Just ankles.
No, I don't blame you. It is very scary, but very fascinating to watch. And I do have the results here. We have from North Korea, we have Yes, he did win gold. You were right about that. I don't want to butcher names, so I just, I want to be ignorant and sound like I'm butchering names. And then we have Dennis from Russia, Albiazin. And then we have Ablazin. Thank you. See, this is why I don't pronounce the names from other countries, because I don't want to ruin it and have people think I'm stupid.
No,
And then we have
no.
Kento from Japan that won the bronze.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, I thought it was very interesting, but like you said, it is very scary to watch. So yeah, I don't blame you for feeling that way. But I do have a question for you because we never really discussed this on the show. Why are men's floors routines much different than the women's routines? It seems like the women's one have more dance and more hip movement to it, but the men's is just straight out gymnastics.
So both disciplines are called artistic gymnastics. But the men's gymnastics comes from more of a militaristic style and focusing on the athletic part of gymnastics, while women's floor comes from more of a dance. But like they wanted to be more, for lack of a better term, feminine, which I hate, but that's where it came from. So that's why women use music, men do not. Women have dance elements that are required, men do not. Well, I shouldn't say that. Men have skills that are called non-acrobatic skills that they must complete. So that's why you see a lot of what we in the gymnastics community call deer jumps, and they're a single leap with the front leg bent and the back leg straight. It comes from, there's a dance element called a double stag, and a stag is a male deer with antlers. So we call them deer jumps because it's only one leg bent instead of two. Or you see them do the wide arm handstands, which are called Japanese handstands. And so the men do have to do non-acrobatic movements, but they don't perform to music. They don't actually have dance elements named that they must do like the women. So that's basically the only reason.
Okay, no, that does make sense. Is there any reason as to why, or just one of those things? It's just the way it is.
Well, as I said, it comes from the men's focusing more on militaristic athleticism, and that's why you see a lot of men's skills are harder because they have more muscle and that focus was always there. Unlike the women, you don't start seeing you don't see a backflip on beam until Olga Korbut, or Nadia Comaneci, which is 1970s, which women's gymnastics had been in the Olympics since the 20s. So you don't see the flipping elements as early as you do in the men's, and it's that focus on athleticism that changes that.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. I mean, I would just love to see the ladies focus more on skill rather than dance. I mean, I love to dance. I love all their floor routines, but I would love to see them try to do maybe not as intense as the men do, but I would love to see them do a little bit more of what the men do without just to see how they do without the music or the little dance added to it, just out of
See, I
curiosity.
hate it. I hate that idea. It's artistic gymnastics. It needs to be artistic, and it frustrates me because I don't think every routine should be balletic. By no means. I think there are some styles of dance that I don't think should be there, like twerking, which you do see in college routines, which drives me nuts, but whatever. There needs to be dance in women's floor exercise, and I actually hate women can't. They have to stick each pass, and it used to be before 20. I think it's 2008. I think the rule changed. You could lunge out of a pass, so basically you do a back step, and you can't do that anymore. And I hate that you can't do that anymore. I think it kind of ruined. I mean, I like stuff passes, yes, but I like that be able to stick the pass and do a lunge. To me, it looks nicer. It looks finished, and so I wish they'd bring that back, but that will never happen because the rules or whatever. So I think it needs to be. They need to have those dance elements. They need to have the focus on the being able to hit 180 in your splits and being able to do a jump turn and whatnot. And I think that's really important to gymnastics.
No, it makes sense. I'm glad you explained it that way because, like I said, it was something I never knew about, and I'm curious. I'm glad you were able to explain it to me. And now that we're done with gymnastics for the Olympics, cheer, they're going on tour in September. Now, who exactly is going on tour, and what does the tour entail?
So hopefully no broken bones this time.
Knock wood.
Yeah, there were two major injuries last 4 years ago. Michaela Maroney broke her leg falling from bars. It was a really bad injury. And then John Orozco got hurt. I believe John Orozco got hurt. So the tour entails, it's kind of like the gala performances, if you watch those, where they do a bunch of, they do gymnastics, but they also do like dance in the middle, and they usually have some of the rhythmic gymnasts who actually, gymnastics technically isn't finished. Rhythmic still has to compete. They compete today and tomorrow, or tomorrow and Saturday. So they'll usually bring the U.S. women's rhythmic team and individual who are competing. They sometimes bring a sport that's not in the Olympics. It's trying. It's called acrobatics, and it's kind of a mix of floor and Cirque du Soleil kind of stuff. Like, it's crazy. You should go watch them because it's awesome. So they usually bring a couple of the U.S. acro teams. And they do like different performances to music, and there's usually a like performer that tours with them, and they do different stuff. Usually the guys do high bar, show off high bar, stuff like that. Like it's more for like teen girls and young girls than it is like serious gymnastics fans, or just, it's more for younger kids than it is for, you know, other people. As far as I know, the press release that went out from USHE was the final five will be performing, and the Fierce Five will be performing, as well as Sean Johnson from 2008 and Nastia Lukin from 2008 as well. And that's all I've seen. So I'm assuming the men's team, I'm assuming Laura Zhang, who's the U.S. Individual in rhythmic, will be there. Other than that, I don't know. It's going to be hosted by John McCready, who's an Olympian himself from 2000, I believe. Yes, 2000. I had to think of that. He's kind of crazy. He hosts USAG meets. Like, he hosts nationals and he hosts American Cup. And there's another host, but I didn't know who that was. So that's kind of what tour is. And so tour starts in Spokane, Washington in September 5th. It's the weekend of Labor Day. Funny enough. Ooh, maybe I'll see them in a hotel. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, since you're going to be in that area. That's awesome.
In the area.
Oh, wow. You should go see if you can go and let us know about it.
It's not a waste. No, I'm not going to spend my money, especially when I'm coming home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that's what the tour is. They haven't officially released the cast, other than they say the Fierce Five and the Final Five, and then Sean and Nastia.
Nice. Now, who are the Fierce Five again? That was from 2012 or 2008?
2012. 2008 really didn't have a name. That didn't become a thing until, well, it became a thing in 97, but it didn't continue really until London. So the Fierce Five, Fierce Five is Michaela Maroney, who actually, so I take that back. The Fierce Five minus Michaela Maroney. She will not be there as far as I know. She has a new single/record coming out, so I don't know what her plans are, but she will not be with them. And then Jordan Weber, Allie Raceman, Gabby Douglas, and Kyla. Oh, and Kylo, as far as I know, will not be there either because she is starting UCLA in the fall.
Oh,
So,
congratulations to her. That's awesome.
yeah, she'll be with Jordan Weber at UCLA competing. Jordan's not competing in NCAA, but Kyla is. So, my guess is she will not be participating in the tour. She might do the California, like the LA stop, just to kind of. Sabrina Vega did that. I'm not Sabrina Vega. Who did it? There are a couple other performers that kind of do some stops, but not everything. And I kind of suspect that's what Maddie Koshin will do, just because she can't be paid because she's keeping her NCAA eligibility. So I'm guessing she'll only do a couple stops. And then she starts college. Where is she going? Is she going to Florida? I can't remember if she's. I think no, she's going to UCLA as well. So she's joining Kyla at UCLA in the fall. So I'm guessing she won't do a whole lot of the tour.
Yeah, probably not, but that's great that they're all going to a great school. I'm really proud of all of them for also not only living their dream with the gymnastics, but also putting their education first. Because you know how I feel about education. It's the most important thing in the world to me. So seeing them go for their education as well as their dreams, I have so much respect for them.
Which is kind of, I think, I understand why Lori went pro, but I wish she would have kept her NCAA eligibility and gone to school, and I think she would have been great. She would have been amazing at NCAA, but you know, it is what it is.
Now, what exactly is NCAA?
So NCAA gymnastics is is gymnastics competing at a Division 1, 2, or 3 school, and usually the Division 1 schools are your most prominent. So Stanford, UCLA, University of Oklahoma, Florida, Nebraska. There's lots of Division 1 schools, and they compete from January to April, basically weekend and week out. And they compete like any other NCAA sports teams. And so they compete in their region, their conference. And then in end of March, beginning of April, it's a little complicated to understand the scoring, but they try to get what's called a regional qualifying score, and that's taken from your scores and it's dropped the highest and lowest. And those scores try to get the best score possible to get the #1 seed in regionals. And so you compete in regionals. Well, you compete in your conference, you compete in regionals, and determines NCAA finals. And then there's a whole competition format for NCAA finals. But it's pretty much like any other NCAA sport.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. That's what I figured it was, but I wanted to make sure and have our viewers understand as well. Now, do they have to keep a certain grade point average like they do for other sports? Because, like, you know, I live by Penn State, and I know the football players, the basketball players, what have you, they have to keep a certain GPA in order to stay in the sport. Is it the same thing for gymnastics?
Oh, Penn State gymnastics. In such a mess right now. Yeah. It depends on the school. Usually, yes, that they have to keep with a good academic standing is what it's termed as. And for a lot of gymnasts, that's not hard. Partly because they're perfectionists and they're overachievers. So they're used to really heavy schedules and knowing how to balance working out and school. NCAA gymnastics is a little different in that they can only practice a certain number of hours a week. And so it's a lot less than being an elite, and I think it's 20 hours a week or something like that. And so definitely you see, if you watch gymnasts in NCAA, for the most part, their bodies will change because they're not competing as much. And yes, they compete week in and week out, but they're not training 35 hours, a week. And the routines are not they're different difficulty, and it's judged on the Junior Olympic system, so it's out of a 10. So you see different scoring, and you see different routines. They're I don't know how to put it. They're constructed differently than elite routines. I, for the most part, really enjoy NCAA gymnastics. There is, if you're really interested, you can get in touch with Sammi. Then she can put in touch with me. There's actually fantasy gymnastics, just like fantasy football, for NCAA, which is awesome. And so it's just fun to watch a lot of the, you see former elites doing NCAA, and you also see international girls coming to NCAA now. 2 Olympians are going to Boise, which I'm super excited for. I think Boise's going to have a really good freshman in class this year. Really looking forward to Boise. So NCAA is just a lot of fun because it's a little more varied, and you see different stuff, and you see it's more fun because it's a team aspect and it's a team. I don't know. It's different from elite, but yeah, I really enjoy NCAA, and I think all the girls should do NCAA because it's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely got to check it in, and I have to get in on that fantasy gymnastics thing. I'm trying to get into fantasy football as well. So basically, my entire fall is going to be one big fantasy at this point because I have all these fantasy teams that I want to join, and we also have fantasy dancing with the stars that we keep trying to do. So my fall is going to be one big fantasy. So
well,
now you have one more thing.
NCAA gymnastics doesn't start until January, so there you go.
All right, so it'll be a fantasy year, so even better. I like that. And we got to discuss that more. Maybe I'll have you on during that time to discuss how exactly it works, how it differs from fantasy football, and we can maybe even start our own team or work together on this. This is going to be awesome.
Well, yeah, we'll have to talk about it because you actually don't do. Yeah, we'll have to talk about it because it's a little different than like traditional fantasy games. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that because I definitely am interested and curious about how that's going to work.
Yeah.
And I do want to hit one more topic before we get into another topic that I'm interested in. You said rhythmic gymnastics, which now that I know about that, I'm excited about that. Now, what exactly is that, and how does it differ from regular gymnastics? Because every time I see that, I think of that Lizzie McGuire episode, and she just waved a ribbon around. That's pretty much the extent. I know. That's pretty much all I know about it. And you're probably making fun of me. It's like, why do you even remember that episode?
I actually don't know a ton about rhythmic. So rhythmic gymnastics is a combination of acrobatics and dance, and they compete. There's both a team element and an individual element, and they compete with different instruments. They compete with clubs, ball, hoop, and ribbon. And there's different elements they have to perform. And don't ask me what they are. I just know that there are. I don't follow rhythmic as much. And then the team aspect it's kind of like a little bit like synchronized swimming in that respect, where there's synchronization that they have to do. So that's basically rhythmic. And you see girls generally are taller. They're also super, uber flexible. They are so flexible. It's scary. And it's usually rhythmic has long been dominated by Russia and the Soviet bloc countries. Belarus, Ukraine, what's the other one that I keep thinking of? It's driving me nuts. So it's dominated by Eastern bloc countries and has been for years. Rhythmic, so I take the pack. Rhythmic, they might have competed today. I don't know. But I know they compete today, tomorrow, and Saturday in both the individual and team. So U.S. has a team, and they also have one individual, Laura Zhang. It's really interesting to watch. They do compete to music. Yeah, that's rhythmic.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. It sounds like so much fun to watch, and I do love stuff like that. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see. And I actually completely forgot about rhythmic gymnastics until you brought it up. So now I have something else to watch. Yay! And I do want to get to a couple more things before we run out of time. But now, remember, beginning of the week, we said that there's Simone Everyone wanted Simone to do Dancing with the Stars, particularly Ali Raisman. But now I'm hearing a new rumor that Lori Hernandez has been signed on. And actually, you're the one that told me about it. Have we heard anything else about that?
Not concrete. So the rumor is that during the Facebook Live Q&A that the girls did with NBC, I don't know if it was a producer or somebody asked if somebody was going to do the show, and both Maddie and Allie Maddie and Gabby looked at Lori Hernandez and kind of pointed at Lori Hernandez, and Lori Hernandez is kind of like ignoring them, and so that's where that rumor got started. I don't know how much truth that is because of the tour. She cannot, there is no way that she can do the tour and do Dancing with the Stars. It's just not possible. The tour schedule is so tight that it just would not be possible. So I don't know. If she has signed on, it most likely will be for season 24 in the spring. Just because of that tour schedule. I mean, she could be doing season 23, but if she's wanting to keep in USAG's good graces, I would say she's not doing season 23 because of the tour.
That's what I was thinking as well, because I forgot, I didn't know about the tour until we discussed it before the show, but I'm very happy that they want her on the show, first of all, because you didn't really see a ton of her. She wasn't as well known as Gabby or Simone or Allie, so it's nice to see someone like her get into the spotlight and do Dancing with the Stars. But I think you're right, she's going to end up doing season 24 instead of 23. That way she could have the tour, be happy, relax a little bit, and then go straight into Dancing with the Stars. And I would love to see her paired with Mark, because I think that would just be cuteness overload.
Or Sasha. I'm voting for Sasha. That'd be Sasha would be amazing. And, people have been saying, well, Meryl and Charlie did the Stars on Ice tour after Sochi and whatnot. And I'm like, to say to that tour was a little more relaxed and a little further out in terms of spacing. And so that's why they were able to do that tour as well as, and they didn't do every show. So that's why they were able to do the Stars on Ice tour or whatever it's called and do Dancing with the Stars. But the gymnastics tour, the Kellogg's tour, and the season just don't line up. So I'd be really surprised if she's on the show.
Yeah, I would be surprised too, because that's going to be too much all at once. Even though I would love to see her, especially since she's so well known now and she's fresh in everybody's mind. So it would make sense for her to do season 23, but with the tour thrown into the mix, I have a feeling it's going to end up being season 24 instead. And I think we're going to have one of the female swimmers on this season. I heard a rumor that Ryan Lochte is going to be on, but considering his controversy now, I severely doubt that's going to happen. I think they would have Charles Manson on before they have him on. Well, not that far, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, this whole situation, which does not surprise me at all, was not. Was not surprised that this what happened. That the whole situation turned out to be. Yeah, I just don't think it'll happen. Actually, TV Grapevine Blind Gossip just posted something about DWTS about supposedly there is surprising casting stunt coming from one of the big 5 networks. Apparently, it's an on-screen twist, which was shot earlier this month under a Star Wars level of secrecy and set to air during the show's season premiere. The show, and quote, spoiler, has spoilers name, will be trending on Twitter before the closing credits roll. So supposedly one of the big 5 networks, which was the ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox, have a surprise coming for their casting. Now, I don't know if it's Dancing with the Stars or not, because that'd be insane to try to do casting during the show. So I don't think it's them.
I I
Yeah.
don't know. That would be actually really interesting because they always have some kind of weird twist, and they need to add something new to the show. So it'd be really interesting to say a mystery pairing, and then just all of a sudden it's announced in the middle of the show. It's like they have pairing one, pairing two, pairing three, and then in the middle of the pairing, it's like, oh, surprise, this person's on the show. So I can see it actually working out and really doing well because they'll completely throw everybody off. Now, if they bring Derek Huff back in that casting, I would be the happiest woman on earth. But since he's
Yeah.
going to be doing Broadway, he's not going to be able to do it, of course.
Yep.
But, a girl can dream that he'll actually come back one day, but I doubt it. I think he's got his Broadway, his movies, his other dancing stuff going on. So I don't think he's going to come back. I think Louis Van Amsel's going to come back. That's my feeling.
Yeah. Well, for this season, though, the males are. Oh, crap. I just dropped my phone.
Oh, no.
It's all good. It don't go very far. The males are already set. So the males for this season are Gleb. I'm going to butcher his Russian name because I'm really bad at Russian names. He quit Strictly Come Dancing, and he's now back on the show apparently. Mark, Val, Artem, Tony, and Sasha. And then females are Sharna, Allison, Lindsay, Whitney, and apparently 2 open female spots. So yeah, I don't think Louis is back unless it's
part of that surprise twist that we're thinking of. That, but I heard Quirky Ballas was coming back as well. Was that just a rumor, or is it maybe he's?
Rumor.
Yeah, that's probably, unless because he keeps trying to get verified on Twitter and keeps mentioning a dance show. So unless he's going to be on So You Think He Can Dance as an advisor, I really thought it was going to be Dancing with the Stars that he was going to come back to, but I guess not this time. Maybe another season. But as for the 2 female people that are open, maybe Edita's going to come back because, of course, Pete is out because she's going to have a baby, and Allison danced while pregnant, but she's a little too far along to dance, I suppose. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe Anna T will come back. I would love to see her come back.
I'm guessing it's at least her, because she was supposed to come back not last season, I think, or the season before.
She did come back. She was with Gary Busey.
Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. So I would think maybe her, maybe Edita. I don't know. So,
yeah, because I can't think of any other one. Emma, but I think she just wants to be in the troupe now. I don't think she's interested in competing anymore. So, competing on the show level, I think she just wants to stick with the troupe now. That's the kind of vibe I got from her. So I will be curious to see if she comes back, Edita comes back, Anna comes back. You can go either way at this point. Mm-hmm. But when is I heard the casting announcements. What, next week or the week after?
Date.
Yeah, today's what, the 18th, so
I believe it's next week. For some reason, I want to say, let me check Tom's Twitter because Tom talked about it. You know who I'd love to have on there, but I don't think he'd ever do it. It would be Tom Daly.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be amazing. There's so many different.
And then have Lance Black in the audience. Oh, that would be adorable. So adorable.
Yes, it would be. It would be. I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but we could add it to our dream list because we are probably going to be discussing Dancing with the Stars on the show because I'm obsessed, you're obsessed, and why not discuss it on a TV show?
I really want Danelle Leyva to do it because they've never had a male gymnast. And, he's super popular right now because he's in the news because he just won 2 Olympic medals. But with the fact that, the tour, I don't know if he'd do it.
Yeah, it's the same situation as Laurie Hernandez. It's like he has to choose one or the other.
Yeah. But I would love for Danelle to do it. If you're going to get a male gymnast, I think he'd be awesome. Pair him with Emma. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
That would be. And she would do well, and she would finally have a young, hot partner that would take her to the top. So I would love that for her. So hopefully we'll see. But I did hear rumblings about Dana Vollmer, and it seems like Katie Ledecky is really popular in the swimming competition. So hopefully one of them will be on. So we'll see what happens because I know they're going to definitely have an Olympian. It's just a matter of which Olympian they're going to have because after every Olympics, they've had one on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, they had Misty May Trainor, then they had um, Marilyn Charlie, and then Apollo Ono was on, of course. So it's like they either have an alumni or they have someone that just competed. So either which way, we're having an Olympian on this season.
So cast announcement is August 30th.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Is it wrong I want to not go to work that day just so I don't miss it?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna get a female swimmer, it's gonna be either Katie Ledecky or Lily King. Maybe
Yeah, Lily King was really good.
Maybe Simone Emanuel.
Oh yeah, Simone. She made history, so she would actually make the most sense to have on because she was the first African American to medal in swimming. So that would be absolutely amazing to have her on because she is, like I said, she did make history and she's becoming more and more well known. And why not keep up the glory, keep up the happiness, and really cheer her on? And I think her determination, because she has a really interesting backstory as well, it would be a great inspiration to people.
I also think maybe Carrie Walsh, because of volleyball and her being super popular.
They've said her every year, every year since 2008, since Misty May Trainor's been on. They've always said she was going to do it, and she never did. I kind of have my doubts with her. I think she's really not interested in doing it at this point.
Yeah, although now that I'm pretty sure she said this was her last games, so I don't know.
Yeah, why go? Yeah, if she changes her mind, why not go out on top and then do Dancing with the Stars just to make it a one big celebration? Because that's really what the show is all about, a big celebration.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely curious, and we have 11 more days till the casting announcement. So we're definitely gonna have to have a show that afternoon when I get home from work to make sure we talk about it, discuss our predictions like we always do, because every season I should say, we have all our predictions, and we always end up debating about it. So it's gonna be a really fun debate slash discussion about the show.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how the show changes. Just because there's some stuff that's gone on, and their ratings haven't been great. So, you know who I would love to have? We'll never do it, but whatever. Thomas Gibson.
Yes.
He's free now.
Yeah, so why not? Yeah. But this is the first season we haven't really had any rumblings at all, which makes me think it's either going to. This haven't been very many, but last season by now we knew pretty much the whole cast. Thanks to I forget what the website is, and DWTS Gossip on Twitter, they pretty much leaked the entire cast. So
yeah, and I think that's one of the changes that got made was security casting. They did move the studio, so the shots that you always see from them coming out of rehearsals will no longer exist. And supposedly they've kept this studio a pretty big secret, which I think is a good thing, partly for contestant safety, for dancer safety, but just to keep the contestants list a secret. Because I remember when Shawn Johnson was on, the reason she got announced early was because the paparazzi caught her coming out of a rehearsal studio with Mark. So they've definitely clamped down on security and secrecy. So I think that's why we haven't heard enough the rumblings that we normally have.
Yeah. Because the last time I don't remember any rumblings is when we had the All-Star season, but I doubt they're ever going to attempt that again. As fun as I had with that, I was so disappointed with the way it turned out because they had so many winners against each other that it was just disappointing to see some of them weren't as good as we remember. So it was kind of like, just keep it away, and unless they're going to do something where they have now this would be absolutely hilarious if you have the first person voted off from each season compete against each other and see who can win. No, I'm teasing, but that would just be more hilarious to watch. I mean, Tucker Carlson versus Geraldo Rivera on the dance floor. But we did have some that left first that just weren't popular. Like Paulina Porchikova was absolutely amazing. I thought she was a beautiful dancer, but nobody knew who she was, so therefore she was voted off first.
Yeah, there have been a couple, but I think,
they'll never do it. It's never going to happen, but it's just hilarious to imagine in my mind because, the way my mind works. But we are out of time, unfortunately. But I'm going to have you back for when the Dancing with the Stars cast announcement on the 30th. And if all of you want to tune in before that, we are going to have a football show to discuss the preseason. I'm having Ashley and Nicole on, so it's going to be interesting. I know you don't do football, otherwise you would be here as well. She's like, no, no,
Nope.
no football.
Nope. If I have boys, they will never do football. So, yeah, nope. Totally against the sport.
I watch for the cute guys. Like I watch for every male-dominated sport. I'm just like, oh, they're cute. So that's why my future husband's lucky. I'm like, I won't complain if we watch sport because I'll just sit there and not know what's going on and be like, oh, pretty. But I'm not. Yeah, I'll be married, but I'm not dead. So at least he can watch in peace. But anyway, we are out of time. I want to thank you again for being on. This has been so much fun these past few weeks covering this with you and Colleen, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. So, Colleen, thank you again. I really appreciate it. And this has been Football in High Heels Presents. I'm Sammy. Thank you and have a good night. Bye.